Being 5:31, I'm going to call the meeting to order. We're having a public hearing tonight for the purpose of obtaining financing for the substation. Board of Selectmen tonight, I have Charles Bozzello, Ann Barney, and Andy Fitch, and Jenny Angel is on her way. Megan Semio is missing with notice. I'm going to dive right in here. The principal amount we're looking for is up to $2.2 million. We have a quote for $1.5 million. However, if we find other damage that we don't expect, we need the buffer. On a 20-year note, it would be, the interest rate is deemed to be approximately 4%. We've done some shopping, but until you've got a fixed date, they won't give you a fixed price. We're ballparking it. We've been told 3.8, we used 4%. The payback amount on a 20-year note would be $13,000 a month. I have an amortization schedule in front of me, and it scares me. But it is what it is. We have sustained major damage down there. We have taken care of most of the damage, but this is something that's been kicked down the road for many, many years. We're at the point where we need to do it. As they were repairing the damages, they did some of the cleanup work. That pushes us a little further along. Terry, do we have a turnaround time?
For what? This repair work or the?
For both. For the repair work and for the entire job?
The most 4 weeks to do the entire job. Because they're going to have to dig up the whole substation and put in a new grounding system. So.
Okay.
But there'll be no loss of power. They'll keep the old equipment going. They'll build the new setup inside there and then just transfer over.
Okay.
And they'll take the old stuff out.
Are we back to our own power, or are we
We're
still?
on power. We're on our own power, but we still only have one transformer.
Okay.
That's it.
Yep. Okay. What is this going to do to our rates?
Well, I gave you the amortization. It's probably going to make our rates go up a half a penny.
Yeah. So we sell 10 million kilowatt hours a month. A penny a kilowatt hour is $100,000, am I right? I did the math and I just keep coming to that figure, and I'm not a rocket scientist. So like he says, it's approximately a half a penny per kilowatt hour that this is going to cost us for 20 years. Right now, the co-op, if you're purchasing 750 kilowatt hours, you're paying $166 and change. That includes all fees. Eversource, same, all fees, 750 kilowatt hours, you're paying 153 and change. Ashland Electric, same amount, 750 kilowatt hours, all fees paid, you're paying 129. If you're using $300 kilowatt hours of electricity a month, your bill's going to be $1.50 extra. we are going to have more information, and we will have better information. All the information that you see in front of me will be online. This is just the first step. By the 8th, I expect to have the new rate study completed, which we think we had an issue with our last rate study. We're not positive. We're double checking. We're making sure we've got that right. Then we'll be able to nail down some hard figures. But this is a required first step. This was required by the courts. So we're moving to do what we need to do.
Apologize.
No problem. Is there anything anybody wants to ask?
Yep.
Go ahead.
The payback is based on our usage,
The payback.
so everybody will be different depending on their usage each month.
Everybody's usage will be different. They will be paying by their usage. So I use 200 kilowatt hours. I'm only going to pay for 200 kilowatt hours. If you're using 3,
Yeah,
nobody's subsidizing anybody.
okay.
Go ahead, sir.
Hey, what was the cause of the explosion?
The cause of the explosion was the internal phase-to-phase grounding inside the recloser. So instead of 720, it went to 1400, and of course the cable and the insulator couldn't handle it.
And why did that happen?
Just an internal fault. Sometimes it happens. The one we replaced last year had a problem in it, and we replaced it. And this one here checked out good. It measured and everything was fine. It was cleared to go. We put it online. Well, I guess it wasn't good to go because it lasted a year and a half.
How many reclosers are there in the system?
2. And
So there's
the other
no-
one was damaged also.
What? So is there a warranty on that?
Not on a 56-year-old breaker, no.
Is there a program for testing the oil?
Yes, it's gets tested every year and every 3 years for PCBs and every year just for normal wear and tear.
So I thought you said that you had just replaced it.
We replaced one. There's 2 of them there.
Oh, the other one was 56 years old?
They're both the same age. They're both the same age.
One had been rebuilt.
One was rebuilt and
Okay.
put in place.
Okay. The other question I have is there an asset management plan for the electric department and a CIP for the electric?
We have a CIP. It's got a CIP over there.
Is there an asset management plan?
That's-
I've never
that's
seen
the
it, but
only thing I can give
I'm
you.
starting to develop them. Just recently, I bought my own CMS program so I can do asset management and inventory.
Because I'm concerned about not just this, but the long-term expenses that we're going to see as we try to upgrade the system or fix the system. So I don't know what the long-term expenses are going to be, and I think that would be very helpful.
Well, that's in the new plan, so.
But if you
The,
don't have an asset management plan, how do you know that those are the expenses?
So the new rate study is being done by 2 professionals that have both retired from the business, and that's what they did. Part of their input is going to be long-term maintenance. As you know, with the water department, we had issues because nothing was set aside for maintenance. We are in the same boat here, and we are going to correct that.
I don't know what happened to the water department, because when I was on the water department, we had money set aside. And we had
Yes,
those-
but not enough.
We had those plans place, and we had lots of capital reserves to start off with. So we knew that those expenses were coming. What happened in the interim, I have no
Exactly.
idea.
And that's the same boat we're in. We're trying to set things up to get back to it. Kathleen?
So Andy, in 11/10/2020, Mr. Smith, then the town administrator, sent to the select board a proposal, substation design study, flash study, engineering scope, and proposal to the boards. What happened to that?
It never went anywhere. We kept, it
There
kept
was a
getting
report.
kicked. Yeah. I don't know where the report is. Have you seen that
No,
report?
I have not.
I can tell you, I sent that in.
Yes, because you and I spoke about it.
And the selectmen, I believe after you left, decided just to fix the recloser.
Okay.
And
So-
they didn't want to pursue doing the substation, they wanted to buy the meters, if you remember. So we bought the meters instead of doing the substation.
Right.
So plans were developed
Plans were developed and never followed
and
through.
never followed through, and this is where we are now.
Right. This is where we are now. Correct. Yep. Fran?
Is there any thought to including net metering at any point?
The state has got their fingers in there, and I'm not qualified to answer that. Fred, can you?
The last time the legislature dealt with this matter, they ruled that municipal light plants cannot have net metering rates.
Why?
They didn't tell us, they just ruled it. And it's not logical, doesn't make any sense.
No.
Okay, but that was their feeling. And I think their feeling is that way is because municipal lighting plants are controlled by the cities and towns, not the state.
Right?
So I think they felt that they couldn't order it or direct it because it's out of their purview.
Well, it's one thing to not order it, but it's another thing to forbid it.
Well, by not, they did say in the last study they had done in that area, which was to allow all the other utilities in the state to do that.
Yeah.
That municipal light plants are expressly excluded from this provision.
Excluded from the order, or,
From the order to allow net metering.
but what I thought you said was that they were told that the local ones couldn't do it.
We can't order net metering because the
I know you
state has
can't
said
order
that.
it, but if you decided on your own to do it, could you do that?
We can't.
And that's what I'm trying to figure out
They
why.
passed a state law that says we can't.
Well,
And I think that's nuts.
it is.
And I
it is-
told them that, but they
it
don't
doesn't-
listen.
Okay, it doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't
If,
make any sense.
You know, if they can't order it and we can't order it, I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
It's an effort to cripple, for no reason at all, for
Okay.
no stated reason.
We're the only town in the state of New Hampshire that can't do net metering.
No, there are 4 other towns in the state of New Hampshire that cannot by law do net metering. They're all municipal lighting
Okay,
plants.
but if you talk to a solar company, which several of our neighbors have about having a solar array on their home,
Yeah,
they won't work with Ashland. They'll work with all the other towns, but they won't work with Ashland.
they can't because we're not allowed to have net metering by state law.
They will work with you. We've been talked to a couple. They will work with you, but
But you
you pay
can't.
more,
You can't.
obviously, because
Yeah.
you're not selling anything back.
We think it's crazy.
How can we change that?
The legislature has to change that. You gotta get a hold of your state representative and have that law changed.
If the law changed, is it possible with the system we
It is
have to
possible.
implement
With the
it?
new metering system we
Yes.
have, it's a matter of calling the company that owns the meter and say, hey, we're setting up net metering. They send a signal and all the meters, because they
Okay.
talk to each other, or just download the software, it'll be done.
Okay,
Pretty simple process.
All you do is call them and say.
makes no sense, okay.
So we were
Get some letters to write.
We were talking about having a solar array here
Yeah.
for Nashville.
Yeah,
So
We were gonna keep it in-house.
It wasn't coming in-house, it would be going on the grid.
Oh,
Yeah, no.
so we would get no profit from it because we can't do net
They would be
metering.
paying a wheeling charge to go over our lines, and that's it.
They also have to pay taxes and they have to pay rent on the property.
Gary, question. Are both the transformers down the substation still workable?
Both of them transformers are in absolutely wonderful shape.
Okay.
So are
They're
they up
like
for,
almost brand new because they've never been used hard.
are they up for replacement as part of the substation package, or they're gonna use those
The
transformers?
company that I'm working with,
Yep.
you see them down there.
Yep.
I see, they said, we'll use these old transformers. That's how I got a really good price.
Yep. No, I'm familiar with
And they're top notch. They're top notch people.
it. Yep. They do good work.
So Andy, you and I, we can share the same story. Back in 2005, maybe you weren't in town then, there was a hostile takeover of North Ashland Road and 175 on Ashland Electric. We were on co-op. 10+ years, only, it was put to a town vote. Everybody got to vote on that, yet the only people who were charged a surcharge for 10+ years were the residents of North Ashland Road and 175. I'm looking at another surcharge for the rest of probably my natural life in order to have electricity at my home. That's what it looks like.
It's a minimal surcharge, but yes.
But you know, the talking point all those years, we have the cheapest rates in the state of New Hampshire.
We still will.
Well, I never saw it because my rates were higher than what I was paying the co-op for 10+ years.
Yeah. There's one person you can thank for that.
Yes,
Enough
but
said.
yes. But going forward, I haven't seen anything put forward on that we want, at this point, do we need to have this facility any longer? Our commercial base is very, very small. It's gonna be the ratepayers, and people still don't seem to understand, we don't generate our own power, that everybody that gets an electric bill isn't a ratepayer. If their landlord pays their electric bill and they're a renter, their rent will reflect what the increase will be. You're looking to indebt this town at an unknown final cost for how many years? I'm just putting it out there.
No, I just told you, 20 years.
Yep, and there's a reason why nobody around us has their own municipal light company any longer. Those days are gone in this town. And I think we need to finally accept that. Everybody's been saying it quietly behind the scenes. I mean, we were saying it when, this was one of the reasons that we went to a town manager, because the electric department was starting to pull this town down because of the mistakes they were making and the lack of maintenance. And now it's finally hitting us. What is the motivation? What is the reason that we really need to basically start from scratch?
We are not starting from scratch.
It's a degraded system as it is now.
The substation is degraded, yes.
A 50-year-old mechanical unit is a 50-year-old mechanical unit.
Yeah.
It's twin failed. From what I recall when I was on the board, many components of this substation were obsolete and degraded. Water and sewer commissioners were dealing with the same issue down at septic receiving. Maybe the pots still worked, but they couldn't be replaced. There were no replacements. Am I correct, gentlemen? Dave, Eli? That you had to upgrade the system because you couldn't get pots for many of the
That was
components.
true for a lot of our stuff.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Water and sewer began to do upgrades. I would say for at least 3 or 4 years. Nothing but a Band-Aid might have been done down here at the substation.
Yeah. It's time.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
How much do you suppose our grid is worth?
Our grid right now is worth the people in this room that get the bill. It's like any other, because
No,
it is.
if you were to sell our grid, what would you get for it?
How could I answer that? That is not my area of expertise. I know on a business sense, it's like a going out of business sale? Oh, let's put it this way.
No, it's not.
Let's put it this way. When my husband owned a pharmacy, and we were now reaching where independent pharmacies were becoming something of the past.
Yep.
That you had the big boxes coming in, supermarkets, et cetera, They didn't give a hoot about what product he had in his store. It was the files, the customer base. That's what the company was paying for. Not the physical building or any item on the shelf. That stuff was just pulled out and liquidated. It was those files. It was an instant customer base. So that's how I look at it. We're an instant customer base.
Harry, how many miles of line do we have in this town?
Jesus, 62, something like 62 miles altogether.
I'm trying to put it where ordinary people can understand.
Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing for you. Do you remember the purchase price of North Ashland Road?
No, I just know it was over budget.
It was, the purchase price of North Ashland Road was $1 million.
Because it was a customer base.
How long is North Ashland Road?
3-something miles, 4 miles.
We've got 62 miles of line. What do you suppose that is
Andy,
worth?
I'm telling you,
I'm telling you.
I don't have that. I'm just saying, as a ordinary person, how do you sell this to the public?
I sell it to the public. We own all of these lines. We own all of these poles. We are going to start getting rent for all of these poles at $11 a pole. We just signed the paperwork the other day. There's a chance we can get, we can back charge. Don't know. That'll get figured out. That's huge change for us. That's going to go towards our substation. Our substation is minor money compared to the rest of the lines and the poles, the rest of the infrastructure. You're talking only $2 million. The rest of our infrastructure, I know, only, but what's the rest of our infrastructure worth? If North Ashland Road was worth $1 million back in the
20 years ago.
Yeah, 20 years ago, 25, I think. What is the rest of our structure worth? What's the rest of all our lines, all our infrastructure worth?
And all the customers.
Yeah.
Andy, I talked to the vice president of co-op. I know him. And I asked him that same question, would the co-op ever buy us? And they said we might, but we would charge every single customer a surcharge to upgrade not only the substation, but the entire, every line. So you would get the same upcharge, and you'd pay the co-op rates, and you'd be on the list for the outage. Right now, you're number one for an outage. Ashland is number one. If there's an outage somewhere else, you gotta wait until the co-op gets to Ashland. And you might be a week without power. So this little power interruption is nothing compared to what people just on our neighbors.
Without power here?
So be thankful that we have our own
The
electric
co-op
department.
doesn't respond to outages that much.
I didn't have an
I'm
issue when I was
serious.
with the co-op.
What would the rate be, like, you know, after the substation's figured in and stuff? What's the Ashland portion of the rate, like, per kilowatt?
We have determined, if I've done my math right, Coyote, we have determined that it will be less than 1 cent per kilowatt hour purchased. So if you use 750 kilowatt hours,
But I
it'll be
mean,
under.
if you add that in, like, what's the total Ashland
Okay,
cost
so
per
you-
kilowatt?
Yeah, you missed the
For
first part.
distribution?
So, under the co-op, 750 kilowatt hours, all fees paid,
Yep.
it's $166. Eversource, it's 153 and change. Ashland Electric, right now it's 129 and change.
I'm not thinking of I'm thinking like cents per kilowatt hour.
I don't have that figure in front of me.
And I was just trying to compare, because I think, like, the Eversource rate's like 9 cents per kilowatt hour, like that portion of it. You know,
That
besides
portion,
the-
but your fees are what kill you.
Right, and that's why I was just trying to, like, 'cause
Yeah.
maybe as an illustration for people like that versus what it is here,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. Our fees are a lot lower than most of the other electric companies. Yes.
Eddie, what's the condition of the rest of the assets, the 62 miles, the poles, the lines and everything? Because if we have to replace those, that's going to be very expensive too.
They're actually replacing Levitt Hill Road right now.
Placing poles all along, all winter.
Yeah.
But I'm asking.
No, I honestly don't know. That's Harry's ballpark.
40 footers go for 2,000 apiece.
No. What's the long term? If our assets are in the same condition as the station down there, then we have a lot of long-term expenses in terms of replacing those, even if you are replacing them. But
We are replacing them when they fail, when they're getting ready to fail.
Yeah.
We've had
But-
inspections, and when we replace the ones that...
I know that. I want to know what the long-term prognosis is for the cost of replacing all or fixing all that infrastructure. Have you sat down and figured that out?
David, I can tell when I did the pole surveys, they said our wires were good. We had 110 poles that were bad, that needed to be replaced, but our transformers and most of the lines were in very good shape. There are some that aren't coated with the tree wire that would be the next to be replaced. You know, like on Thompson Street, it's open wire.
Yeah, and that's why we're always having problems on
The wire's
Thompson.
good up there. When I looked at that report, it was very good. So our infrastructure is pretty good, except for the tree wire is the best you can put up. The Hendrix wire, you know, they used to put it up around town a lot, but there's only a few roads up, you know, Albrook Road, line 1 is all open, I believe. So when I did the survey and read the report, it was pretty good. I mean, our lines as far as the roads go.
Do we do our own tree trimming, or do we contract that out?
Contractor.
Yeah, Exxon.
So projected for for this year's maintenance needs, we have $584,000. Projected for 26, we have $789,000. And they have a breakdown here. Some of it is substation, electrical equipment, electrical purchase of equipment. Small part is electrical building, I can't read that one, and
The electrical building,
28% of it is line and pole purchase and maintenance. That's for 26.
Do you know if Reed's proposing to put in like station class reclosers, breakers, or like line reclosers?
they're putting in a rack of line reclosers.
And are they doing, are they vacuum?
They're vacuum, all vacuum, no more
No
oil,
oil,
no more
yeah.
oil anymore.
So folks, this Coyote Mason, he's my next door neighbor. He works for Eversource. And he works, his primary job is electric substations. I asked him here.
We also put in a Viper.
Go ahead.
We sued them for $90 million because they gave us a batch of bad Vipers, so hopefully it's more.
Good.
Putting around here, yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
We started doing some of the upgrade before we,
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask, what was the town's intent with buying electricity when the hydro dam goes back up on Mill Pond? And what would that result be for the taxpayers?
We weren't gonna be buying their power.
Oh, no?
No.
They're selling it. That line directly goes right over to Eversource anyways. It's metered to go out, so.
Worst case, or best case scenario, we might get some metering out of it, wheeling charges. We might. No guarantees.
Maybe, have we, because when I did that quote for the other selectmen, we talked about piecemealing that substation. And at the time, they said our transformers were still good, don't replace them. But phase one could be circuit one, transformer one, we do that side. Keep the old side running, move all the circuit breakers outside. And then phase two would be the next circuit breakers. We thought about piecemealing it instead of taking out a bond. Back then, we could afford it, we made an extra,
Yeah, you and I discussed that.
we were talking about 300,000 a year maybe,
Yeah.
and we make that extra.
Yeah.
Have we ever thought about, we could afford to put meters in without having a bond, and that was like 260,000. So can we just keep one side running, start the other side?
What this is gonna do is get rid of all those old Magna Blasts. They're all
I know
gone.
that. You can start, we have two sets, we have redundant
Those are
systems.
people killers.
But people are
They're
worried
meant
about
killers.
the big cost of 1.2 million. We can do 3 phases, 3
It's
years.
two.
Well, 1.2 million, whatever it is.
2.2.
2.2.
We can afford it, we might be able to afford it, we just,
Craig, you don't understand, those Magna Blasts, those guys ain't supposed to be switching them. There's no safe distance.
I know that that's all,
Okay?
that's,
There's no safe distance.
right, but
So,
you
in order
build,
to make it safe, they're putting
Yeah,
outside
so-
breakers, so they might as well just finish the whole thing and get rid of it.
but the townspeople are worried about the cost. So if you do it in phases, we have redundant systems. You can do half, it may, I don't know, would it make sense to do it like that?
If I could find a contractor to do it, probably, but.
Well, you
But
gotta.
they don't like making new stuff up to old stuff.
You don't have to. They said, you build a new one, and maybe can they build a new set? Because we have redundant systems down there, right?
So you can run off one side.
And then we only have to spend half the money at a time. Couldn't that be done?
I don't know the Ashland,
Well,
I mean, I have to.
you're
I
a
have to look
substation
at
guy,
it.
but that's what they told me, we
You know,
can do it in phases.
It depends on the exposure, like,
Yeah.
if you're leaving yourself in a situation where that other side goes down and now you have no option
Well,
to get
then
power to the people.
But we still are
that's a
fixing our
precarious
redundant
spot.
system. In a few weeks, we're gonna have 2 systems back online, where we can switch from transformer 1 to transformer 2. It's all gonna be fixed. You start building the new stuff.
It's worth asking the question.
It's just that you're gonna get a hard people, I'm just a
Yeah.
wait for the people to maybe accept it, I don't know.
Craig, this was, now that you're saying this, that was the plan, that's why we.
That was the plan, that's why you
Yeah.
decided to do the meters first and then tackle
Yeah.
it. Maybe we'd spend 300 and,
So it was
but we
something
just
that,
never did it.
that the general public could understand, that it wasn't you see anything in the millions, people,
Right, people,
automatically,
I don't think anybody realizes, but we worked on this in 2019,
Yes.
20, and we had plans.
Yeah.
But the select boards changed and it just,
and that was a big deal just because we didn't even
Yeah.
know what was out there. And it was shocking how old some of the equipment was. So that's why I don't have a lot of confidence, because plans were put in place and the ball was dropped. We seem to go around in circles at times. But now that Craig brought it up, and that's how it was that was the thought, that we could do it, not piecemeal, because that doesn't sound permanent, but you could fix one section and then switch over and fix the other one, and it would be an easier, it'd be an easier pill to swallow for most people. Because like I said, I don't wanna pay another surcharge for the next 10 years of my life.
Craig, do you remember if they were going to replace the grounding mat at the same time when they were doing that? They were?
They were gonna do a one-line drawing, because we don't have that. They were gonna do an art flash study, because we didn't have that.
Yeah, I
And they're
got
gonna
the
replace the
email,
whole
yeah.
grounding mat, because there's
Have
three
you seen
faults in
that,
it.
Harry? Have you seen those plans?
No, but they're probably up there, I just in the box.
They're on his computer.
They're on my, no, they're not on my computer. My computer burned down.
But Craig, you had a final report, correct? And wasn't it done by Eaton?
Eaton and then
Yes.
PLM.
I have something from them, yeah. I got it right here.
Another company. Their documents are there, they're in the town office, they're everywhere.
Andy?
Yes.
Just a general comment, and I'm not trying to advocate for the 2.2 million, because it is a scary number, but
Yes.
my general concern with this town is its uncanny ability to kick the can down the road until you can't afford to do it anymore. For example, when we were going to rebuild Thompson Street several years ago, we had an engineering study and it was gonna cost 1.2 million.
Right.
And now they're talking about a new bond for 6-point-something million, because they kicked the can down the road. They paved it,
voters
thank you very
turned it
much.
down.
The voters turned it down.
Yep,
Because they get
exactly.
frightened by the money. And this was something that we were gonna get grants for, and Mike Latulip was gonna build some of it, and we kicked the can down the road, and now we're, worse off than we were.
Yep.
And so I just wanna make sure that any plans we have is not kicking the can down the road, but it's not putting a Band-Aid on the problem, it's fixing the problem.
And that's our game plan, to fix the problem. How we do it, we've got to get there. We've
Yeah.
got to figure it out. As I said, I didn't hear about this meeting until last Friday. We were notified that we had to have it this weekend. So we haven't had a lot of time to
Right.
work with this. We have a deliberative session, for lack of a better word, an emergency deliberative session scheduled for the 8th.
Right.
I expect to have a lot more information for the 8th.
When will the vote actually be? Because we
The vote
want to
will
make
be-
sure that when the vote happens, we have all the information. I mean, you said could be 1.5 million, it could be 2.2, we're not exactly sure of the rate.
We won't know if we need the extra money until they get into the project,
Okay.
okay?
So
That's-
who's doing it?
I'm sorry?
Who's doing this?
I see Reed. Yeah, they're doing all of co-ops substations. They were just working up on Route 3. They're doing, that's all they pretty much do
No,
now.
I'm familiar with,
Yeah.
yeah.
When Fran mentioned the Thompson Street project, I recall that when we put that together, we were getting a loan from DES, but we had also talked to RDA, and RDA was at that time bundling loans. So if the town, like we were doing that project, but we were also going to do the receiving station. And then our intent at that time was to bundle those two together, and we get the forgiveness, the loan forgiveness from DES, and when RDA bundled their loan, we get additional loan forgiveness from that. And I don't know whether that's still available or not, but it's certainly something to look into, because you're going to have a lot of loans out for water and sewer and electric department and whatever else, so. you can
And
certainly-
ultimately, we're gonna need a water treatment plant,
Yeah.
just,
New well system too.
Yeah.
so, minor things like that.
Yeah, just minor, yes.
Is there any grant money available for these projects?
We had Northern Borders in here 2 weeks ago, and they said no. But we may be able to find some grant money for it. I'm not sure. We've got to look.
Yeah. What kind of a vote is it gonna take to pass this?
3/5.
Fred,
3/5.
3/5.
3/5? Okay.
60%.
Yeah. So that's why you need to make sure you have all of your Ts crossed and your Is dotted, so people have the
Yep.
information.
Because Tom-
Exactly.
Because you know what happens with information in this town.
I certainly do.
Yes.
Yep.
Andy, when are we gonna get the information that, for the upcoming meeting? The information,
I mean-
the backup.
You mean the stuff that I have here and the stuff coming
The
in?
deliberative
Else,
session.
because of,
As we get it, I'm going to post it, I'm going to have it posted on the website.
okay. Because it would be nice if we knew what we were actually voting for.
Exactly. That's why we want to get everything on the website. It's just like the emergency alert system. As soon as I got word that we were taking applications for it, I got it on the website. And if anybody needs to sign up for the emergency alert and doesn't know how, we have a piece of paper here that tells you the website to go to, and it takes less than a minute. The hardest thing to do about it is come up with a 15-character password and remember it.
I think it's important, like, you know, for, I guess, general people, and I don't know how you, like, express that to people to know, but it's like, if they don't replace the aging equipment, they're still gonna replace the aging equipment. It's just gonna be piecemeal,
Yeah.
catastrophic failure.
It's gonna be
Right.
Happen.
failure.
Are you familiar with the old Magnablasts?
The GE,
Yeah.
what are they, like rack-in breakers?
They're racking, they're
Yeah.
trolleys.
Very familiar with them.
When they blow, they blow.
Folks, do we have any more questions?
You didn't, I guess I wasn't clear.
Okay,
You said
I'm sorry.
the deliberative session is on the 8th.
Yes.
Is that also the vote?
No, the
Oh,
vote
okay.
is the following month.
following month,
I don't
okay.
remember the exact date.
Okay, thank
It's like we're
you.
having a town, an SB2 meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I just want to make sure that.
Yes.
you know,
No,
we
it's-
have
it-
plenty of time to.
You have plenty of
peruse the
time
data.
to peruse
Okay.
the data.
Good, thank
And
you.
I have a feeling we'll be providing data right up until vote day.
You may want to
So-
schedule another informational meeting too.
And we probably will.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna find some way to have somebody outside the building that if people have questions, hopefully we can get them answers.
Well, that addition to the electric bill is going to be what most people are gonna wanna know. And if it's
Correct.
really $10, it's not a big deal, but they, like Kathleen says, they see that number.
Oh, I
They
understand.
freak out, so let's make sure. we
Me
know.
too.
Yeah, right.
So do I have anything else? Alan?
My question is going back to the most recent electric rate increase. How much money is that generating?
We've only had receipts twice, so we don't know yet.
And we don't know that it's accurate, Alan. We may be backing away from that. That's why we're getting a new rate study done. We think it was flawed.
You still
How much
didn't
did
answer
you
his question.
estimate that it was going to bring
I don't have
They
that
have to
paperwork
talk to
with
the
me.
treasurer, she knows.
Yeah, I don't have that paperwork
So are
with
we
me.
being overcharged? Is that what you're saying?
So maybe over or undercharged, so we'll be having the professionals do it again, so make sure.
in? How soon is that going to be rectified? We have that kind of.
It's being worked on now. I expect the information by the 8th.
Maybe you can explain to people how rates are supposed to be set.
I can. So the rates are supposed to be set. You've got your costs. You've got your cost to purchase. You've got your costs to maintain. You've got your costs for your employees. I know with the water department, we missed the cost for the maintenance by a long ways. We believe we have corrected that. We had a shortfall. They figured we had a shortfall of, was $900,000 in water sewer. Not that we were in the red that much. That was, we should have had that amount saved up for maintenance. We didn't have it. With the electric, it's the same way. You've got to pay for your power coming in. That's over 10 million kilowatt hours a month. You've got your employees, and you've got your maintenance. They've been doing a fairly good job of keeping up with routine maintenance. It's your long-term maintenance that has failed.
That's why, when I was on water and sewer, Alan and I went to the rate setting seminar at DES.
Yeah.
And basically, for rates, you have to cover your operational expenses.
Correct.
Okay. And your long-term capital expenses. And so,
Right.
if we don't have a good computerized maintenance system, an asset management plan, and a CIP, predicting 10 years down the road, and then setting your rates to make sure that you're going to cover that, and then updating them every year as you update your plans, that's the most accurate way, I think, that you can do that.
One of the things that the departments did this year was give us a CIP, or give us CIP information. It is our intent to get back into CIP.
That's very, very important because.
Yes, it is.
Give everything a lifespan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have another sort of an aside question. Is there any discussion or any concern about the impact of potential tariffs on Canadian power, on our power? I mean, they say it's going to affect the people in the Northeast more than anything.
I
are
already
locked
talked to
in.
who we purchased from.
Yeah,
They will not be affected by Canadian power.
okay,
Upstate New York, Michigan,
okay.
and Illinois will be affected a lot.
They don't get any power from Canada?
Upstate New York does.
No, I'm
but we
talking
don't.
about
Yeah, I
Vermont.
think that would have been the northern pass, but it didn't happen.
We didn't
so-
get Northern Pass,
Okay.
so thank you. Good.
Okay, okay, yes, indeed. Okay, thank you.
Anything else, folks? Board, do we have anything?
No, I'm good, thank you, Mr. Chairman, that was helpful.
So at this time, I'm gonna close the meeting.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you very much for coming, folks. If you don't have the information for getting the alerts on your cell phone, the information is right there.